Welcome back to Glowing Hour. We're your hosts, Sam and Mel.
Hello.
Hey.
We also have a special guest.
It's Layla again.
Shout out.
She's basically a co-host.
Truly, and she's not facing you, so sorry.
She's kind of rude like that.
She's
Sorry.
kind of like special to see her face.
Kind of like, ooh, and she might be leaving.
Oh, nope, just getting comfy. Resituating.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Today we're drinking our favorite Junies, June Shine.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have the favorite flavor, the Pog.
You do have the favorite. Okay, side note. I let my cousin Danny try a Pog this weekend. Well, I had her try Desert Cruel at first because I was like, everyone loves it. She hated it. She said it tastes like medicine.
No.
I was like, wow, that's a statement. I was like, well, do you want to try Pog then? Because that's like...
But she likes beers, right? Like sour beers?
She likes sour beers.
So
She likes kombucha now. She be drinking it all the time. Island Bliss is Pog. Did you know that?
No.
It's passion fruit, orange, and guava. That's the flavors in Island Bliss.
I love Island Bliss.
That makes so much sense now, doesn't it?
That makes so much sense.
And so then I was like, all right, Pog, you like Island Bliss. Obviously, it's different because it's different. And she said she liked it a lot better. But I was still butthurt that she didn't like Desert Cooler.
Dude, let her come back again and like
sometimes it's an acquired moment, you know?
It's just like you have to have more of it. Just like kombucha, like in general kombucha, you probably don't like it the first couple times you drink it.
It's like, oh, okay. And then my uncle tried it. And he was like, I like that it's not super carbonated. I'm like, period. It's a good, middle ground between it is a beer, technically, but like a beer and a seltzer.
Yeah.
Because it's not beer to me, anyway. But also, everyone in San Diego was drinking that shit. Like, you know how when we bring June Shines, it's like, oh, like, we're the only ones with June Shines or whatever. No.
It's the new favorite. But honestly, thank God, because I feel like it's like, I'm like, it's still poison, but it's like less.
It's like so good for you. But also I think it's because of San Diego and that's where they're based.
Yeah.
So they probably go hard in those territories or whatever. But anyways, love June Shine always.
All right. So to piggyback off last week.
Wednesday.
To piggyback off Wednesday's episode, if you haven't seen it, please go tune into that one. We talked about like online identity and kind of just also just how we're perceiving like the online world at the moment.
Yeah.
But to segue into this episode, just like being perceived in general.
Yeah. As
IRL.
Yeah. In real life. Online's definitely part of it too. But like mostly in person. Oh, goodbye, Layla. She left. Yeah, I feel like in-person perception feels maybe worse. Even though you're being perceived by more people online. Being perceived in person by even just one person feels way worse.
Yeah.
Like if someone was to hate on me online, I'd be like, you don't know me.
But then the people who already know you.
Yeah, but the people that know me want to hate. I'm like, well, not want to hate, but just
like,
because I think being perceived is like your own personal, also maybe not insecurities, but sometimes insecurities that like you're being perceived in a type of way.
Yeah.
At least that's how I'm coming from the episode. I'm thinking like, are other people, maybe their first thought isn't that, and it's like perceiving other people, you know?
No. So okay, what is your take on like
being perceived?
Yeah, like what are you thinking about when that comes up?
Anxiety.
Okay, but
you know my girl Riley? That thing's riding up there, anxiety.
Yeah.
No, I think anxiety because you don't want to come across in a way where you offend anybody, or I think that's what first comes to mind, like offending other people, and then the secondary is like being ugly or like looking stupid or embarrassing yourself. Is there a third layer to that? Like,
I think like because we're probably like good people, that's probably like where we cap it off. But I can also see like the perception of like
how much money maybe or something.
Yeah, like people add layers that like maybe aren't necessarily things we think about, but like the third layer of that could be like, yeah, like
can I
status.
use you for something?
Yeah, like can I use you for something? Are you know what I mean?
Right. Crazy.
What?
Because I just think about like when you go out and you meet somebody, obviously there's thoughts of like, oh my God, this person fits into my life for this reason or doesn't fit into my life for this reason. But it's never really like, I mean, if it's like from a business standpoint, sure. Like networking, like, oh, you make business cards? Obviously, it's like, I can use you for business cards. Use you for that. But otherwise, yeah, I don't think there's much depth there beyond that.
No.
But so why is it so scary to be perceived? I'd rather be perceived for my status, honestly, than for the other things that actually make me who I am. Because then I'm like, oh, then that's irrelevant because I don't give a fuck about status. But so if you're going to judge me for it, then okay.
I am no one. Thanks.
Yeah. Like, go ahead.
Move on.
Right. So, like, being perceived for how good of a person you are.
But I think, like, really that's the piece. Yes, I agree with you. Like, that's the more hurtful piece is, like, having people perceive you on something that genuinely is you.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, in a world that's, like, lived on what you benefit for someone else, like, how you can benefit someone else.
Yeah.
That is just so...
Well, the saying, it's about who you know, not what you know.
Yeah. It's just, like, I don't know. It fucks up the way that maybe all of us interact with one another, and like then not wanting to actually show each other the first two layers of who we actually are, because we're like it's almost like it's flip-flopped.
Yeah,
you know, like we're showing the top part, the status part, and if you're not interested then you don't get the other pieces of us.
And it's only in the status, I think, is only shown because it's like, well, what do you do for work? Like, it just, that's the first question we all ask,
for sure. And I love that, like, more recently when I have met like newer people, that is no longer the initial question, because I think we're all tired of like hearing like, what is it that
it's
you
also
do for work?
Don't bring it up, because then you'll ask me and then I don't want to answer the question. So let's not talk about that. Let's not
talk about it. Like, more so like, what do you like to do for fun? Or I mean, that's kind of like a funny way to ask the same question, kind of, because you're like, well, sometimes I do this. Your job. Yeah. But in general, like, I think not basing each other off of what we do for money.
Yeah.
Step one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's part of it. But I think for, like, being perceived in the online sense, I guess, just to touch on it, like, I just fear that I'm being perceived in the wrong way. Like, that's not really me. But also there's nothing we can do about that. Like, if you think I'm some whatever terrible thing, like pretentious person who only likes cakes... No, I'm just trying to pick something from my page. Cakes in the beach and hates everyone else and never posts anyone but herself, or I don't know, whatever. Like, okay, and like, don't follow me, don't be my friend, or say something and be like, hey,
are you pretentious?
Are you good? I know, right? I don't know what you say. I don't know what you say, but maybe just be like, I noticed it's only selfies, babe. But also, like, I wouldn't care. I'd be like, that's their page. Let them rock that Snapchat filter.
The dog filter.
Yeah.
I think mostly, like, when I think about like perception of us, I think about the podcast and getting, like, yes, like, obviously we're very open on this like platform that we're on, and I'm not like trying to say we like hold back or anything most of the time, but I do think like obviously we're selective about what we speak upon. But like, even then, like, this is sometimes just like a fun like short take on like something that, I mean, we've had a lot of moments where we just say the dumbest shit.
We're like, I didn't give it much thought. I just said it. And that, unfortunately, does come back. Yeah. And you're like, oh, yeah, I get it, but I didn't really mean it. But the perception isn't... It's like, no...
Isn't the intention. It's like what the action was, what you actually said.
And it's also because our culture online, especially, is so, like, jump to conclusions of, like, oh... because you're this color or ethnicity or religion, or because you like podcasting, you must be girls who are conceited and fucking whatever, blah, 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 blah. Like, everyone just makes, which is so funny, because we're like, oh, like, stop making assumptions about people. Like, people deserve second chances. Cancel culture's over. All this stuff where we're like, yeah, we're moving forward. But then everyone comments the most out-of-pocket things. Like, I've seen so much, even on Instagram, which it's normally TikTok, but Instagram, people are like, I think some girl posted, like, having kids when I thought I would be in school at this age or something. Like, something that could be, I guess, taken controversially. And everyone's just putting their take. And it's like, you guys know nothing about this girl. And also, she could be, like, twisting the reality of her life to fit a trend.
Yeah, a trend, or, like, literally just a one-sentence statement. Yeah. To sum up this moment for her.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people forget that, because for me, even if I disagree with something online that is like very one sentence moment, I'm not going to comment and like go off. Personally, I'm not.
I'm like, then there's me.
You go off?
I went off.
Have you
on
gone
somebody.
Off in the comments?
Yeah. Not like at somebody who was in the video, but somebody who commented something stupid in the video.
I get you.
Yeah. So, like, you're all about talking about fucking Summer House. I'm all about talking Swiftie.
Yes.
But there was like this like Gaylor content creator who was like,
what kind of content do you make? Gaylor? Do you know her?
I'm in the category niche Gaylor.
Right.
No, but she was like literally making like this like theory up based on like something that happened at the concert in Dublin. Whatever. And like, you don't have to agree. It's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. I didn't think like whatever she was saying was like real necessarily.
You just took it as a piece of content.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm just listening to it. It's fun to speculate all these things that like could be happening, that she could be talking about. It's what she wanted everyone to be doing, not
speculating,
like speculating on her lyrics and like the things that she puts out,
digging deeper.
That's her whole culture of her like fandom.
Yeah.
So why are we upset? And this woman, I don't know how old she is because she had 2 dogs. That's her fucking profile picture. put a comment saying like, can't believe you are speculating on her sexuality. Don't you feel disgusting? Or don't you feel fucking weird? Like something like that. But it was aggressive.
Yeah.
And I was like...
And the person in the video isn't being like aggressive in their
she's
own
just like
delivery.
She's just like getting excited about a theory and like moving through like these little connections or whatever. Like, and I commented back and I was like, straight is still a sexuality. You're just mad that she's talking about her being queer.
Yeah.
You're completely okay when you and other people talk about her with like having relationships
regards
with men.
to her straight relationship and speculating on that. Like her being engaged to a man speculations compared to maybe she's queer.
Like, I don't understand, like, yeah, exactly. Like, the difference there, I'm just like, you're crazy for thinking that there's any difference between me and you.
Did they respond?
And then I think I ended it with, like, you're just homophobic, period. And I said, say it with your chest, babe.
And they didn't respond?
They didn't respond. Because for real, though, like, sexuality doesn't mean just queerness. Like, it means all types of sexuality. So it's like, you saying that her relationship with Joe is so fucking cute, that's still talking about her sexuality. Be for real. But anyway, my point is, like, the perception, maybe she's not actually homophobic, but that's how you're coming off, girl.
Right,
like,
in that one statement.
That's your one statement.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with what you say.
The generalizations we can definitely make. Because, like, we probably all said some things that lean towards a certain sort of hate speech, or maybe not hate speech, is a little intense, but like a...
What did we say that we got in trouble for? Men don't think.
Hate speech.
Hate speech.
Oh, men.
Yet there's actual, like, incels who, like, hate women, and we're getting in trouble for the men don't think.
How many times do we need to, like, give generalizations are real, and, like, it's just like a given, is it not? Like, you have men in your life, I have men in my life. There's no way we can genuinely think. And sometimes they really are not thinking. But it's a generalization. I guess we could no. Nope.
I think there's just like a middle ground of the perception we all have of one another online. And that's online, which we can like leave that away from this conversation. But I think like it does play into a role of like, I think for a long time it did play a role on how we like acted in person with one another. I think we're moving away from that.
Like, how many followers do you have? Are you an influencer?
That kind of thing. Or like you would kind of base your whole life around the aesthetic that you had online and wanting to be perceived the same way in person so that you don't seem fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think about, and it's not even in a bad way, because I know like there's influencers out there who like were just like, that's their job at the time, and like their life was supposed to look curated and perfect. And so they were doing like planned photo shoots, and like,
I think they still do that.
Some of them for sure.
Like,
you
I think
tell.
Delaney, I think, does that.
Yeah, I mean, but then it's also like, because it's like brand deals, so it'll be like fashion. Anyways, moving along, it did creep into the real life of it all. Like, I need to go to the beach more because I haven't posted the beach in a while, and my whole aesthetic is beach. My job is beach. And what did I do when I went to the beach 3 times? Did not take content. Actually, I did take some content.
We had a photo taken.
Yeah. We didn't even explain that in the first episode when we brought it up. But basically, I am terrible at grammar.
Same.
Mel, Logan, and I believe, in that order, we're laying, just talking, catching up. And this woman comes up to us and she's like, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to be weird, and it would be really weird if I was a man, but I'm a woman. Can I take a photo of you guys?
And I was like, and I was going to be completely okay with her taking the photo of us for herself for some reason.
Yeah, I kind of didn't really, because she just said it, like, of you.
I was like, oh, maybe she, like, is, like, a person who, like, has a page. Or, like, I didn't really give a fuck. I was like, okay,
you said sure.
For sure, take a picture of my ass, I guess.
Yeah. No. And
then she wanted to give it to us.
She was like, this is, like, such a good memory. You guys are going to love this later. Just trust me. Just trust me. And then I gave her my phone, and she took photos of us.
Yeah, she took good
photos. Like I said, good photos. Check them out.
Now the beach job is fulfilled, but not posted.
Yeah, not posted still. But that's the thing. It's all a little more genuine. And I want to find that middle ground where I'm like, I do still take really cute pics at the beach still, though. Yeah. It wasn't the whole reason I went, but I still got an extra bonus from going. Yeah. Made that hour drive
worth it a little more.
A little more worth it in that hike. Oh, but anyways, yeah, I think overall just like being perceived in general, though, there's the anxiety behind it of like just people not knowing who you are. But I feel like there's always going to be.
But that's like the hard lesson is we all have to learn is like.
That's okay.
No one's going to know you right off the bat. Like
I barely know me. So. We all barely know ourselves.
Listen, tell me about yourself. Hard question.
I hate that. It's too vague.
Why do we do it?
Like, I like the beach and my favorite color is blue.
And you see with that question, even asked on a personal level, like when you're meeting somebody, have you ever been asked that like on a date? Tell me about yourself.
Absolutely not.
Thank God.
No.
But like, I'm just wondering because I haven't been on a date in a
they're
long
more
time.
Specific, luckily.
But like, even like meeting somebody in person, I've had like somebody like normal, like, tell me about yourself. I'm like, well, and then I go straight to like the job situation.
The job thing, right.
I'm like, why?
Sometimes it tells a lot about a person. Sometimes it does.
You're right about that.
Like I'm an accountant. And go,
yeah,
you're a numbers person.
Or if you're like the campaign manager for Trump, I'd like to know that.
Oh, that's tea. You
know what I mean? That says a lot.
There's a lot to be said about the jobs, and I think that's why we do lead with it. But it's clearly not everything. But also, don't ask me just general, vague. Tell me about yourself. Hard. Yeah. Yeah. But long story short, don't like being perceived because I don't know what that perception ever is. So that's why it's just better to forget about it. Like, you rarely find out what the perception was. Unless it's like, what was your first impression? Those questions then come up.
And that's the other thing is like the perception of you. A, you'll never know it. Like the true perception. Yeah. But also B, the perception is always a projection of whatever that person's like.
That's true.
And their own objectives and needs for life and the things that they enjoy.
That's so true.
So, at the end of the day, the lesson is no one's going to fucking know you.
And you're never going to know love.
No one will ever perceive you the correct way.
Yeah. That's true. The perception part does help a lot. I mean, the projection part.
That's where friendship comes in and relationships. You can try to have somebody understand you and perceive you for exactly who you are. And I think some people can get to that. Yeah. I do think that, though, there's always a layer of not knowing exactly how you feel that you are. Mm-hmm. And you have to
deciphering our own projection from the original. Because, like, I remember a good friend, she's now a good friend, but, like, when we were saying we're not really strangers, you were there. Just side note. You were there, and it was like, what was your first impressions of all of us or something? And
you computing?
You're like, who is that?
That gives so many people.
And she was like, oh, when I first, like, saw you, I thought you were going to just be, like, this tall bitch. Like, I thought you were going to be so mean. And she's like, in the second you, like, opened your mouth and started talking, I was like, oh, she's, like, the nicest person ever. I was like, okay, so height. Like, that was your perception of someone who's tall.
Height equals intimidating.
And also life experiences are why we perceive and project certain things. Like, has nothing to do with me. You thinking I'm a bitch has actually nothing to do with me. Yeah. It's just because whatever, you only knew tall bitches and they were bitches.
And they were bitches.
Yeah. Yeah. What a good ending note. It's fine.
No one's going to get to know you.
If they ask questions, then that's good. Yeah. You know, that's what it's about. And if they don't, then period. Goodbye. You don't need me in my life.
Yeah.
So that's the tea.
That's the tea there. All right, well, we're going to close out. This one's going to be a real short one.
Just a quick little thoughts, you know.
Big burp with it.
Exhale it out.
Don't perceive me as disgusting. It's just a burp.
Only people that you've known who burp are disgusting, I know.
Comfortable around people who... Anyway, okay. Well, catch us on the next one next week. We post every Wednesday and Friday. If you enjoyed this podcast and you got this far, make sure you give us a little rating and a review if you haven't already yet. And if you have, there's other ways that you can keep showing us that you love this content. You know, comment,
engage with us, share,
and subscribe and follow.
Yes.
And if you need our socials, it's gonna always be We Care a Lot Pod. And we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.